I'm just sorry I let this go on for so long.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the scenes or plot points from the Twilight movies that we can't stop watching, no matter how frustrating or ridiculous they might be. Some plot points will be discussed, so beware of potential spoilers ahead.
You imprinted on my daughter?
Number 10. Bella's weather aversion. Twilight. Look, we aren't always big on small talk either, but Bella's reaction to Edward bringing up the weather is a little over the top, to say the least.
So you're enjoying the rain? What?
You're asking me about the weather?
Yeah,
The pair notably lays eyes on each other in biology class, where Edward's visceral reaction to Bella's scent sets a very bad first impression. But after a short absence from school, Edward returns and decides to turn over a new leaf. The conversation he strikes up with Bella is awkward and clumsy.
You were gone.
Yeah. I was out of town for a couple of days. Personal reasons.
But what's worse is her reaction to him mentioning the dreary weather. Sure, Edward isn't a great conversationalist, but this probably wasn't the best way to respond.
Any cold, wet thing, I don't really... What?
Nothing.
Number 9. Vampire Pregnancy. The Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 1. The words vampire and pregnancy should never go together. Given that vampires are dead, one would assume that all living processes would cease.
I know that it's impossible, but I think that I'm pregnant.
In the Twilight franchise, that's far from the reality. Shortly after the fairy tale wedding, the new Mrs. Cullen becomes pregnant. What follows is a rapid pregnancy and gruesome childbirth that destroys Bella's body and essentially kills her. With a vampire transformation the only way she can survive,
The fetus isn't compatible with your body. It's too strong. It won't allow you to get the nutrition you need. It's starving you by the hour.
not only is it biologically impossible, but watching Bella slowly deteriorate is like something out of a horror movie. If there's one thing we wish we could unsee, it would be Bella essentially consuming typo smoothies.
Wait. You're gonna make her drink that?
Gross. Number 8. The kissing. Various. When it comes to a love story, everybody loves a good kiss scene.
I just want to try one thing. Just stay very still.
And in the Twilight Saga, there is no shortage of smooches. But romance and lip-locking don't always go hand in hand. From the get-go, Edward is pretty hesitant to kiss Bella due to his fear that he'll hurt her.
I can't ever lose control with you.
Once they do get physical, their smooches are usually pretty reserved, to the point that Edward tends to look pained any time he lays one on her. Bella's embraces with Jacob aren't any better, especially when he gets her to kiss him to stop him from sacrificing himself after finding out she's engaged.
Kiss me! I'm asking you to kiss me.
It's impossible to look, and somehow also impossible to look away. Number 7. Bella's eagerness. The Twilight Saga Eclipse. Bella wants to be with Edward forever. To her, an important way to mark their commitment to each other is being intimate. Edward, however, isn't as keen on the idea.
Stop trying to take your clothes off.
You want to do that part?
Not tonight.
He's a pretty traditional guy and also fears hurting Bella when she's still human. The two frequently debate this issue throughout the series, but things take a turn for the worse in Eclipse. Bella tries to make a move on Edward, and he turns her down in the cringiest way possible.
You really make me feel like I'm some sort of villain trying to steal your virtue or something.
It's not my virtue I'm concerned about.
As if this weren't bad enough, she later uses multiple tactics to try to seduce him on their honeymoon. We wish the two would sit down and have more serious heart-to-hearts from the jump, instead of forcing us to endure so much discomfort. Number 6. Edward watches Bella sleep. Twilight. Whether or not you've seen the films, everyone knows that Edward watches Bella sleep. This glaring detail of the first film was probably intended to be romantic and show Edward's early infatuation with Bella.
How did you get in here?
The window?
Do you do that a lot?
In reality, it comes off as an instant red flag. Putting aside the creep factor of trespassing into someone's home and watching them sleep, it has to be said that Edward chooses to do this before he even really knows Bella.
I like watching you sleep. It's kind of fascinating to me.
If anything, this appears more to show his fascination with humans than with her in particular. Regardless, any real-life romance would be cut short immediately after finding out your partner was secretly crawling through your window at night.
So the lion fell in love with the lamb.
Number 5. Jacob accuses Bella of lying. The Twilight Saga, New Moon. Bella and Jacob have a rocky relationship throughout the saga, to say the least. They're friends, they're enemies, they're maybe kind of dating. It can get pretty confusing. But one thing that always stands in the way of their relationship is Edward Cullen.
She's not sure what she wants.
Don't do this!
Let me give you a clue. Wait for her to say the words.
Fine. And she will.
Jacob, just go, okay?
So when Jacob transforms into a werewolf and discovers the truth about Bella's boyfriend, he's understandably angry.
What happened? Did Sam get to you? Is that what's happening?
Sam's trying to help me. Don't blame him.
This culminates in a very dramatic confrontation in the rain, where he calls her out. Unfortunately, his argument is undermined when he points out the people Bella has deceived and comes up short after one name.
You've been lying to everyone. Charlie. But you can't lie to me. Not anymore, Bella.
The pause after Jacob says Charlie is unintentionally hilarious and has become something of a meme in recent years, for obvious reasons. Number 4. Begging Edward. Twilight. If there's one thing that the Twilight Saga is known for, it's the intense and often codependent relationship between Bella and Edward. Their love story moves fast, basically going from strangers to inseparable within weeks. It doesn't take long for Bella to decide that she is unable to live without Edward.
And third, I was unconditionally and irrevocably in love with him.
In one scene, she awakens in the hospital after James's attack to find out her beau thinks he should leave Forks, and by extension, her. Overcome by emotion, she frantically pleads with him, and it's less romantic than it is concerning.
What are you talking about? You want me to go away? I can't. No, I can't just leave you.
I know.
We can't be apart. You can't leave me.
In fact, the declaration becomes particularly painful upon a rewatch when you realise it is mere months until Edward leaves Bella in the sequel.
You're just not good for me.
I got enough for you.
I'm just sorry I let this go on for so long.
Number 3. Battle Scars. The Twilight Saga, Eclipse. After 5 films, the one elusive member of the Cullen family we never fully get to know is Jasper.
The little dark-haired girl is Alice. She's really weird. And she's with Jasper, the blonde one who looks like he's in pain.
His moody silence is attributed to his difficulty controlling his vampire urges. Granted, this doesn't always keep him from flying off the handle.
Jazz, shh, it's okay. It's just a little blood.
Given that Jasper Hale was once Jasper Whitlock, a Confederate major born and raised in Texas, it makes sense that he would have had an accent. However, this doesn't explain why his accent is sometimes so randomly exaggerated. Nowhere is this more obvious than in Eclipse, when he tells Bella about his transformation. Even wilder is actor Jackson Rathbone also partially grew up in Texas. The character's pronunciation of battle scars might be absurd, but it sure is fun to try to impersonate.
Battle scars. All the training the Confederate Army gave me was useless against the newborns. Still, I never lost a fight.
Number 2. Imprinting. The Twilight Saga, Breaking Dawn Part 1. There is something to be said about the power of soulmates, but when the soulmates in question are this far apart in age, it quickly dissolves from romantic to downright weird.
All of a sudden, it's not gravity holding you to the planet. It's her. Nothing else matters. You would do anything.
That was the general reaction to this controversial imprinting in this saga. For those who don't know, imprinting is essentially a phenomenon in which members of the Quileute pack become eternally connected to another person.
Your whole center shifts. Suddenly, it's not the earth holding you here. And you would do anything.
We hear about it a lot throughout the series, and we notably see it happen when Jacob lays eyes on Bella's daughter, Renesme, for the first time. Frankly, we're just as horrified as Bella is every time we watch this moment. And we can't imagine how you could ever forgive your former love interest for falling for your kid.
It's fine, Leah.
You're gonna stay away from her.
You know I can't do that.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Renesme. The Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 1 and The Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 2. Are Renesme the hybrid child of Bella and Edward Cullen? Let's face it, Renesme is unintentionally pretty creepy.
Someone's been waiting to meet you. Rose.
Her birth is a morbid affair, leading to the death of Bella as a human. Things don't get much better from there. Renesme is described as being exceptional due to her parents, resulting in accelerated growth and other supernatural abilities.
Renesme was growing too fast. We all worried about how long we would have with her.
Indeed, she's able to communicate her thoughts through touch, which sound cool, but is actually quite unnerving. And her relationship with Jacob is cringe-inducing, to say the least. Thankfully, the filmmakers decided against portraying her with the animatronic doll, affectionately known as Renesme.
Half immortal, conceived and carried by this newborn, while she was still human.
But the CGI reality is not much better in our opinion. What Twilight scene do you love to hate? Let us know in the comments.
Say it out loud.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.